going to continue with module 4, and it defines 8051 serial port programming in assembly and C. So in this module you are going to concentrate on communication, that is serial communication, and how to write the program to transfer the data serially via transmission and receiving signal, and how you are going to connect your 8051 to an external hardware device through RS-232 interface and programming in that. And programming comprises of both assembly as well as your C language. So first we should understand communication. So first we have to define what is meant by communication. Communication is nothing but exchange of data. It is nothing but exchange of data. So data exchange between two devices. Communication is nothing but exchange of data between two devices. Okay, so when it is exchanging, it has to follow certain protocols. So protocol is nothing but a set of rules and regulations that has to be followed between any two communicating devices. So we need to understand what is the communication protocol, why the communication protocol is required. So communication protocol is required to frame the set of rules and regulations, and we need to exchange the information from one system to other system with a medium. Okay, so there will be some medium, and through that medium we need to exchange the information, that is called as your communication. So there are two ways of communication. One is your serial communication and other one is your parallel communication. Serial communication means only one bits of data can be transferred at a time. So there are two means of communication. One is your serial communication and second one is your parallel communication. In case of serial communication, you can transfer. In case of serial communication, we can transfer only one bit at a time. Whereas in case of parallel communication, we can transfer many bits of data. So this is the difference between your serial communication and parallel communication. Okay, so in parallel, looking at this, in case of your serial communication, as only one data is transferred, the parallel means of communication is faster way of communication because it is transferring many bits of data. So most probably we will be preferring a parallel communication if we wanted to transfer many bits of data. You can consider one example. We are calling normal call. So you can consider the difference between your normal call, that is one-to-one call, and one more is con call. So the difference between your normal call and con call is normal call means one-to-one communication. Con call one-to-many. So it means that here the communication is here the information is communicated to many persons at a time. It means that you will be having many channels in case of your parallel communication. It means that the transmission channel in case of your parallel communication is more. So in parallel transfer, the communication channel, in case of parallel transfer, the communication channel is more. Okay, whereas in case of serial communication, you require only one channel to transmit the data because it is going to transfer only one bits of data. Why the parallel communication requires many channels at a time? In the sense, it is going to transmit a group of data, that is many bits at a time, 8-bit or 16-bit at a time it is going to transfer. So when it is transferring, the amount of transmission channel required for this parallel transfer is going to be more than in case of your serial transfer. So because of increase in the transmission channel, the cost is also more in case of your parallel communication. So the parallel communication cost is more because it requires more transmission channel to transmit the data from your transmitting end to the receiving end. So when you are transmitting many bits of data at a time from your transmitting end to your receiving end, it consumes lot of bandwidth to transmit the data. So the bandwidth consumed by in case of your parallel transfer will be high. Why? Because we are going to transmit many bits of data at a time. Therefore the bandwidth taken by the bandwidth consumed when you are doing a parallel communication will be more when compared to your serial communication. So the best means of transmitting your data is parallel communication, as it is going to convey the information at a time to from your sending end to your receiving end, from your transmitting end to your receiving end. Whereas serial data transfer only one bit at a time. Okay, as it is having more as it is going to transfer many bits of data, as the parallel communication is going to transmit many bits of data at a time from your transmitting end to your receiving end, the transmitting channel, the transmission channel required in case of your parallel transfer is going to be high. As it is going to transmit many bits at a time, the bandwidth consumed by means of your parallel transfer is also going to be high. This is the basics of your serial communication. And one more thing, in case of your parallel data transfer, data loss is less. The loss of data, for example, if I am going to transmit some data from sending end to the receiving end to a percentage of 99, it will receive the data whatever we are sending over from the transmitter. So the data loss of data in case of your parallel transfer is less, whereas in case of your serial data transfer, the loss of data is going to be more, because it is going to transmit only one bit at a time. We are going to place only one bit in the transmission channel, and we are going to wait until the next start bits is enabled in your sender side. So here the data loss will be more in case of your serial data transfer. Next is there are two types of data transfer. One is your synchronous data transfer and other one is your asynchronous data transfer. So why we are calling it as synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer means, here the data transfer occurs between your transmitting end and the receiving end. It is the basics of your serial communication. Next is your types of data transfer. In different types of data transfer, you are going to have synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer. The difference between your synchronous and asynchronous, during data transmission, there will be a transmitter. So the transmitter is represented with TX, and we are going to have a receiver. The receiver is going to be represented with RX. So when you are going to transmit the data from transmitting end to the receiving end, the data will get transferred. But the meaning for your synchronous and asynchronous is, synchronous in the sense you will have a clock signal, where this clock signal will enable both the transmitter and the receiver at the same clock frequency. If so, that is called as your synchronous cycle or synchronous data transfer. If you are going to supply a clock pulse, if you are going to enable the clock pulse to transmitter and receiver at the same frequency, then it is called as your synchronous data transfer. Whereas in case of your asynchronous data transfer, you have a transmitter and you have a receiver. So the transmitter is represented with TX and receiver is represented with RX. So while from transmitting end to the receiving end, you are going to transfer the data. If your transmitter and receiver are operating at different clock pulse, you consider this is your clock 1 and it is your clock 2. So when you are transmitting end and the receiving end, so when your transmitter and receiver is going to transmit the data at different clock frequency, then it is called as your asynchronous data transfer. So you could see here a diagram that is representing the data transfer between your transmitting end to your receiving end. Here three signals are there. First one is your clock, second one data, third one is your ground. So first one, clock pulse, represent whether your transmitting end and the receiving end are operating at the same frequency. And data, it is nothing but it is the one which we are going to transmit from your sending end to your receiving end. Ground, that just to bypass the unwanted signals. So like this, we are going to, this is the general block diagram. This is the general block diagram representing the nature of data transfer with the clock pulse. The difference between your synchronous and asynchronous is if you are sending in and the receiving in, that is if your transmitter and receiver are going to operate at the same frequency while transmitting the data, then it is called as your synchronous data transfer. Whereas if your transmitter and receiver are operating at different clock frequency while transmitting the data, then it is called as your asynchronous data transfer. So when you are transferring the data framing is one of the important impact. It gives an impact while transmitting a data. So it has got one start bit and stop bit that we will be discussing in detail. So the next one is your synchronous. Next we'll describe in depth what is meant by a synchronous data transfer and what is meant by an asynchronous data transfer. So in case of your synchronous data transfer, you can transmit a block of data. Block of data can be transmitted at a time in case of your synchronous data transfer. Whereas here you can transmit only single byte of data at a time. Single byte of data at a time in case of your asynchronous data transfer. That is why synchronous data transfer is called as your block oriented data transfer. Synchronous data transfer is called as block oriented data transfer, whereas asynchronous data transfer is called as character oriented data transfer. So in case of your synchronous data transfer, block of data can be transmitted at once and hence it is called as your block oriented data transfer. Whereas in case of your asynchronous data transfer, only single byte of data can be transmitted at a time. Therefore, it is called as character oriented data transfer. So in synchronous communication, the common signal, so as we discussed earlier, the clock signal, that is it is going to be common between your transmitting end and the receiving end. Whereas in case of your asynchronous data transfer, the clock signal for the transmitting end is different and the clock signal for the receiving end is going to be different. So when you are supplying a common signal between your transmitting and receiver, so when a transmitter and the receiver is supplied with a common clock pulse, then you are going to get a synchronization because of that common clock pulse. Whereas in case of your asynchronous data transfer, the clock pulse is not common between your transmitting end and the receiving end, and therefore the data transfer uses and therefore it is asynchronous means of communication is carried forward between different clock frequencies between your sending end and the receiving end. In case of your synchronous data transfer, the time taken to transmit the data will be more, whereas in case of asynchronous, the time taken to transmit the data will be very less. So these are all some of the difference between your synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer. One more time I will summarize the points that focus on your synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer. In case of your synchronous data transfer, it is going to transmit a block of data, whereas asynchronous data transfer, it is going to transmit only a single byte of data and hence it is called as your character oriented data transfer. From the name it is understood, synchronous means both your transmitter and receiver will be operated at a common clock pulse. Whereas in case of asynchronous, your transmitter and receiver are operated at different clock pulse, and therefore since it is operating at a different clock pulse, the time taken between your sender and receiver to transmit the data will be less. Whereas in case of synchronous data transfer, the amount of time required to transmit the data will be more. Why? Because it needs certain amount of time to make synchronization according to the frequency that you are transmitting and the receiving pulses are operating. So these are all some of the difference between your synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer. In the next class, we will be dealing it with what are the different ways of communication, that is how the data is transmitted from your transmitting end to the receiving end, or full amount of communication, that is it is either a one-way communication or two-way communication. All these topics we will be discussing in the next chapter. Thank you, students.